Going live. Hello and welcome to Nerdicky. For nerds, by nerds. I'm Nerdic Steve, and tonight I'm joined by all these fine nerds. Of course, you can find links to them down in the description below. Tonight we're going to be playing Aether Skies, and it is our D666 system that we are alpha testing in front of you all tonight. And there might be some hiccups, some bumps, and some lumps, but hopefully along the way we have some fun and tell a good story. With that, we are going to jump into our Screaming Night Commandos campaign. So we'll get into who's doing what and who everyone is playing very shortly. But first, Haven hangs in the sky like a verdict. From up here, it looks honest. Clean lines, stacked tiers, a city rebuilt fast and rebuilt straight. All neat geometry and polished carved stone skins that catch the Aether light and pretend they've never been touched by rot. The lift spines run vertical as coffin nails, and the tube lines thread through the mid-decks like veins you don't talk about in polite company. No sprawl on the ground, no horizon to blame, just a hard edge where the city stops and the drop begins. The view drifts closer, sliding past the skirts where the Aether struts turn slow and patient, drinking power out of the air like it's owed to them. Nets of iron hang in the underbelly, slack but ready, waiting to catch whatever the city decides to shed. Above that, the works glow through grates and service hatches, warm with hidden machinery, and the hum of people trying to keep gravity in good mood. Then you're down on a street level where the clean is more complicated. Stone scrubbed too bright, corners too sharp, signs too fresh for a city that's supposed to have history. A vendor flips a skewer, patrol passes, pretending they don't look twice, the same shadow. Overhead, the lift cables sing, and the tubes whisper as they swallow another load of cargo that nobody asks about and nobody explains. Somewhere deeper, past the streets that make sense and into alleys that don't, there's a place that maps forgot on purpose. And tonight, Haven is hungry. Not for food, not for coin, for something older. Something that remembers. The city when it was empty of everything human, and it liked it that way. Now we turn to Watch Post 31, a squat square building tucked between bigger structures, stubborn as a bulldog guarding its turf. The sign above the door reads, Watch Post 31, plain paint on plain stone, like the city doesn't believe in decoration where authority is concerned. Inside, the watch moves the way bureaucracy always moves, slow, constant, and tired. Stone carved desk anchors the foyer, and beyond it stretches a maze of battered work tables and a shared bullpen. Officers grind through paperwork, shuffle evidence, trade low voices outside interview rooms, and disappear into file storage like it's a second job. The whole place smells of ink, damp wool, and decisions nobody wants to own. Off to one side are the offices, set apart from the rest. Not by distance, but attitude. The sign says Night Commandos, but someone has scratched one extra word above it, screaming. The letters look fresh enough to be recent and ugly enough to be honest. In the far corner behind the door that doesn't get knocked on unless it has to, sits Sergeant Arazan Yusul. Old, grizzled, built out of sinew and stubbornness, all bone and lean muscle, the kind of man who looks tall even while seated. He flips through a stack of dossiers. On the stone desk, one after another, lifting each name like a weight. He mouths them silently, testing the sound, tasting the shape of them, before he reads what's inside. And inside there's a summary for each of the agents and a description. Ted, let's start with you. What does your dossier say, and what does it reveal about you that the watch is aware?
So at the top of the page, it says Professor Lucian Heliotrope from Felcrest. For many years, he was a foremost teacher within the Ethereal Academy. Teaching to the younger elves that studied there. But some time ago, his teachings began to become a little rambling as his focus became elsewhere. Eventually, with the appearance of Haven, he was more interested in what was going on here and what was going on in the greater world. So as his studies drift in that direction, it brought him to the attention here. He is a intelligent and sometimes overthinking elf, but from a long line of studious and gifted ethermancers.
There's one or more images attached to this dossier. What do they reveal?
So he's slightly tall for an elf, very foppishly dressed, long flowing hair that kind of sometimes reacts to the ether around it. Likes to wear jewelry. He says that the ether itself tends to cling to it as he works the magic, the ether of this particular world.
And with that, he flips to another dossier. Bobby, what does it reveal?
So, the headline reads, "Often mistaken for a sewer rat. In fact, might be proverbially such. Possibly a gutter snipe, in the most punny sense. Earnest, hardworking to a fault. Also loves snacks." And when you see the image of the person now, it's actually just like a gray blanket that has been makeshifted into a cloak. It's definitely ratty. Probably went through like 3 different kids. And before it fell into the hands of what you see is a snout with 2 like buck snaggle teeth, sort of like poking out of this like possum rat-like, maybe vaguely reptoid snout. And not a lot else showing in the pictures, except for a tail that sort of like pokes out. It's kind of like a rat tail, and not like the hairstyle, but like a literal rat's tail. And you just see this diminutive form, and in every picture you see like just the scarcest view of it. Like it's only ever in the corner, or this creature is maybe in the shadow in the background. Like it's really hard to get a focused close-up image of this creature. And it has a long list of what it says tributes, and they're mostly things like cheese, crackers, like sometimes listing specific brands or flavors.
With that, he puts that dossier aside and pulls up another one. Jezi, what does this reveal?
So this one is a Seraphine Skyweave, an elf, good with charm and getting things done without actually doing any doing. She's listed as being very, very charismatic and able to get away with things, but not very strong. And possibly has some mentalist abilities.
And what about any attached images?
Attached images would show kind of loose flowing clothing, very, very pretty, however, not stereotypical elf-like, as she is covered in astrological themed tattoos, from neck all the way down.
Yeah, he kind of shakes his head and sets that one aside. Tate, what does your dossier reveal?
My dossier would say Rook Cowder, formerly AXR00K. He is a clockwork orc. Essentially, his entire body is mechanical construct, with the exception of literally half his face. About the only part of him that even remotely looks what he used to be. Designed to battle the creatures of the night. And sorry, I'm a little off tonight. Very well disciplined. Not much memory before being built. Just knows that he was not very happy with the company that built him, or the organization that built him, and he's kind of gone off on his own and has been cited by many civilians as the angel of the sky, as he always seems to just soar down and come in to help people.
All right, with
Not
that,
angel of the steel, sorry.
Angel of Steel.
Yeah,
Okay,
some would say.
some would say. All right, so with that, he sets down the last folder and takes 3 long strides, crossing the office to the door that leads to the Screaming Night Commandos corner of Watch Post 31. The door glides open, and the bullpen beyond does something it never does on purpose. It pauses. Pens hover, paper stop turning, conversations die mid-sentence. It's not respect, not exactly. It's instinct. The kind that keeps you alive when the storm rolls in and the air changes before the lightning shows. When Sergeant Ezekiel steps out, it isn't an entrance, it's a warning. Everyone in the room knows what he represents. Bad news with a badge. The kind of trouble that doesn't knock twice. They also know one other thing, just as clearly. Whatever's coming, you don't want it to be the reason his eyes stop on you. His voice hits the room low and heavy, a bass note that rattles the glass and settles in the bones. Get me mostly contained. And then he slams the door shut. So, what is Lucian doing, and where is he at when the summons comes for him?
So, I imagine Lucian, in just about all of his free time, is going through whatever space is given to him that could be deemed an office, even if it is just like an unused section of a hallway where he's got whatever book or books that he's currently looking through, trying to find every little shred, every little bit of detail on whatever today's random happenstance of thought or inkling of a clue for that which he's trying to put together for all of his wild theories. Loose parchment sheets kind of lie beside as he's scrawling with quill and ink, trying to connect one theory from one book to another theory from another book.
What is same thing for Snaggle? Where's he at, and what would he be up to?
So I think we open on what would seem to be an unassuming bazaar, right? It is busy. It is thriving, but it's unassuming. It's the sort of place that like the townsfolk go to find their dailies, like their bread, their eggs, the staples. And then our camera sort of zooms in just a little bit more onto a small alleyway, and you see just like this tiny little claw sort of creep around this cheese stand and grabs a hunk of cheese, and as it swipes it, the owner seems to notice, shouts for the guards, and there's a thief, and the cheese vanishes down the alley, carried by a diminutive form in a blanket.
All right. Where can we find Seraphine?
She would be also in the bazaar, but instead of shopping or anything, she would be telling fortunes and doing tarot card readings for money. maybe true or false ones, depending on the crowd.
So, since both Snaggle and Seraphine are in the bazaar, are you guys aware of each other?
What do you think, Jezi?
We probably could have came together and then, somebody got hungry.
Oh, okay. So, you as you get done with your fortune, your most recent fortune, you just hear like the rustling of the back curtain a little bit, and then you just hear this like and like squishing and squelching like of what you would recognize to be cheese.
I guess he couldn't wait.
And then he sort of like climbs out, and you see the hood falls off now, and you can see this like full-on like humanoid possum rat person, but he's a kobold, and he's very familiar to you, and he just like holds up this half destroyed chunk of cheese and just holds it up with both hands. Snaggle shares?
I will take a very small piece and exchange it for a small cookie.
Cookie! And it's like gone in seconds.
Cookie Monster style. That cheese probably has fuzz on it.
Oh yeah.
That you just received.
Oh yes, there's like wet parts that you probably want to avoid.
Yeah. Tate, same thing, but quick question. Do you go by Rook Calder or Axe Rook?
It's Rook Calder now.
Okay.
The original name was Axe Rook.
Okay. I had that back.
No, you're fine. You're fine. It was basically the like the label for his construction.
Gotcha. All right. So where is Rook Calder now?
It would probably be probably in his quarters at this current moment. Just kind of like going over just his different, body parts, making sure everything's tuned up properly, and also making sure his dagger's nice and sharp, and always keeping an eye on things. Just ready to go at any moment.
Perfect. So, runners, find all of you, and obviously they literally ran because they're out of breath when they get to you for the summons, and each one of them will refuse to leave your side until you agree to go with them to see the sergeant, because they are not taking the heat for this. And they'd rather not go back than go back empty-handed. So
Lucian would take a moment to stack up and fold up the books. He wouldn't be long. He would not be able to. It wouldn't take him long to get back to where he was. But once everything is neat and organized again, he would go with.
Yeah. So obviously, Rook's pretty easy to find if he's in his quarters. Any issues with responding to the summons?
No, Rook would, without hesitation, be responding in his way with the runner.
Yeah, and it takes them the longest to find Seraphine and Snaggle, because you guys are kind of like mingling in the bazaar, and one of you may have even been actively evading pursuit at the time. But when he does come upon the two of you, what is your response to the runner?
I'm gonna finish my tarot reading and take a really extra long, in-depth time
Yeah.
just to kind of, it doesn't seem good. And then ask the runner if they would like a reading as well.
So
What?
he audibly gulps when you ask that. And, it's always like the youngest recruits that get stuck with these tasks. Even though, he's kind of like a strapping young lad and is fit and looks, looks pretty tough. But right now he does look to be almost on the verge of a panic attack. And no, it's okay. Maybe some other time. But the sergeant really wants to see you guys.
And while you're taking extra long with your tarot reading, Snaggle keeps like glancing out the back of the tent, and you can hear like armor shuffling and clanking and stuff. And he just keeps like glancing and sticking his head out and then coming back in. And then finally he starts like pulling on your outer skirt, and he's like, go now, with him, go now.
Yeah, we can. Yeah, we can be done. I can pack up pretty easily.
Yeah, this young man looks visibly relieved as you guys begin packing up.
And Snaggle will like try to get in your bag or some other place that you're going to carry, or maybe in his bag if the messenger has one, just to like not be visible.
Oh, I'm gonna hand all of my stuff to the messenger. I'm not gonna carry anything. Except for like my crystal ball and maybe a light purse.
Yeah. Yeah, you definitely hear him grumble something about I should have listened to my mother instead of joining the watch.
Good lesson.
Yeah, so as you guys all arrive, Yuzio waits until the latch settles. His office is small, but feels smaller when he's in it. He doesn't offer a seat, doesn't need to. Mostly contained, he says, like it's a file name. You've got a situation in the dead ends. He slides a folder across the stone desk. It doesn't glide, it scrapes. Unhoused are going missing down there. Not moved on, not found in warmer corner, missing. The kind that leaves blankets behind and soup still warm in the tin. Taps the folder once. A metronome for bad news. The alley cats caught wind of it and went to sniff around. Good instincts, wrong tools. Their shift ended hours ago. They haven't checked in. No report, no handoff. No, we're stuck in an interview. No, nothing. His eyes lift, pinning each of you in turn. That's against protocol. It's not sloppy. It's not forgetful. It's a problem. Uzao leans back just enough to make the chair complain. I don't care if they got spooked, bought off, or dragged into a hole that isn't on any map. They were supposed to report in. They didn't. That means either they're compromised or they're missing too. He opens the folder, flips it once, then shuts it like he's cutting off oxygen. Your job is simple. Go to the dead ends. You find the alley cats. You figure out what's taking people. You bring me answers. He waits a beat. And if anybody asks why the commandos are down there, you tell them what the watch always tells people when it wants them to stop asking questions. His mouth tightens into something that isn't quite a smile. Routine patrol. So, the dead end.
I would imagine Lucy would take the file and do a thorough read through.
Okay, so basically, it is kind of like it has information about the alley cats, which are just another unit like yourselves.
Sure.
Also, there's a bit of a write-up about the dead ends, and there's a good chance that you guys know what that is anyway. It's a part of the city that doesn't make sense. It's a series of alleyways that all kind of dead end, like almost like a wagon wheel with spokes, right? But it doesn't connect where the alleys don't connect where they should. Most of them don't open back out into the streets like you would expect. It's just like it was constructed wrong. And it is a place where only the most desperate of the unhoused or criminal end up.
I guess we should be off.
Is there anything you guys want to do beforehand to prepare?
I'd like to look at the folder too. I just want to look at the pictures.
Does he have any crackers or cookies or candy out on his desk?
The only thing on his desk right now is the folder that he just presented with you guys. To you guys, everything is immaculate and in order. He runs a very tight ship.
Okay. Then, yeah, just a little bit of a hand patting around on the desk briefly that he can't quite see over, and then disappointed just retracts.
You can almost feel his eyes upon you as you're like reaching around. It's almost like you just touched a mousetrap. You haven't quite set it off yet, but the anticipation of it going off is kind of there.
I'll hand him another cookie, a really big one, and it's kind of like one of those flaky ones, so it's definitely gonna make a mess.
Oh yes. I just.
All right, so with that, you guys kind of work your way back through the precinct. After you kind of leave the offices of the Screaming Night Commandos, you end up in kind of like the general watch population, and they kind of give you guys a wide berth. It's well known that the Screaming Commandos always deal with things that are kind of on the weird and creepy side, and it's almost like they're afraid to get some of that on them from you. So they give you wide berth. So as you guys travel through the city to the dead ends, one of the things about Haven is, for the longest time, the city itself, its history is, it actually vanished in a war and then returned. And it returned haunted, a place that no one would go to, or at least return from. 25 years ago, the city was liberated and the corruption and darkness was driven back, and the city was re-inhabited. So there's portions of the city that just aren't being used right now because there was zero population, and they're repopulating it. There's a city council and a mayor has been running things and trying to get things on track. Most of the flying cities are pretty, almost all the flying cities in Zonterra are very xenophobic and a bit bigoted. But Haven is trying to do something different. They're trying to be more diverse. They're trying to be more welcoming, at least on paper anyway, but still old rivalries and prejudices die hard. It is a lot better than the other places, but there's still room for improvement and work. And with that being said, like I said, there's also just sections of the city that just aren't being used yet because they just don't have the population to fill it. And in order to maintain the city, they've kind of like temporarily walled off those sections, metaphorically, not necessarily like built walls, but to try and contain the growth of the city and keep it organized. As you guys actually work your way back through the bazaar, which some of you already were at, you eventually find yourself in a darker portion of the city, the dead ends. They don't announce themselves with a sign. They just start happening like the city forgets how to be a city. One block you've got street lamps and foot traffic and the usual lie of order. The next, the light thins out and the alleys narrow into a crooked knot of stone and shadow. Corners don't line up the way they should. You catch a glimpse of a familiar building face, and then it's gone, replaced by brick that looks too clean for its age. Too blank, to be honest. The air feels cooler here, not from weather, from absence. The sound doesn't carry right. A cough echoes from the wrong direction. Then you hit the populated stretch, and it's like stepping into the city's bruise. And it's ugly. Trash can fires burn in cut down barrels and dented bins, flames licking up against soot-stained walls like they're trying to warm the stone itself. Smoke hangs low and bitter, mixing with old grease, damp cloth, and the sharp stinging of cheap anesthetic. People cluster in tight, watchful groups under overhangs and the recessed doorways. They don't lead anywhere anymore. Blankets, tarps, bits of netting, anything that can be tied off and called shelter. They're all here. Humans, elves, dwarves, kobolds, folk from the upper tiers, and folk who've never seen the sun through clean glass. A bunch of beastkin. Different accents, different faiths, different paths. Same look in their eyes. Desperate. They don't huddle for comfort. They huddle because it's the only way to stop feeling alone in a place that wants you isolated. Conversations drop when you approach. Hands disappear into pocket sleeves and into sleeves, into makeshift wraps. Not all of them are reaching for weapons. Some are just making sure they still have what little they own. A kid watches from behind a stack of broken crates, face smudged with ash, eyes too old for the size of him. An older woman holds a tin cup like it's an anchor. A pair of men share a coat and pretend it's casual. Kobold with torn scarf around its snout keeps glancing down an alley that dead ends too quickly, like he's waiting for it to open its mouth. Everywhere you look, there are small signs of recent flight. A blanket abandoned, mid-fold, a half-eaten ration, a candle still guttering in a bottle. People who live like this don't waste anything, which means when something gets left behind in the dead ends, it usually wasn't a choice, and it's very odd that no one else has claimed it.
Can I try to do a thing?
You can always try and do a thing.
I want to reverse pickpocket.
Okay, so you want to try and stick something into someone's pocket?
Yes. I would like to, as we're passing by the kobold, reverse pickpocket a cracker.
Okay, give me a hold your bearings.
Okay. And what score does that use?
That would be grit.
Okay, so I got doubles. And no boss. I don't know if that's a thing in this game.
Sort of.
So I got doubles, but they're double twos.
Okay, so what's your total number?
I'm adding precision, right? So,
Well, for this, yeah, you can use precision since you're trying.
so that'll be a total of 6.
Okay. Good news is you get XP.
Hey!
Now on your corruption tracker, add 1 tick.
Oh no!
Because you have doubles and you fail.
Oh
So
no!
you put the cracker in their pocket, and they're not sure what you're doing, but they know you're doing something. And he's going to try and he's going to try and push your hand away and try and get away from you.
Okay. And I imagine that the cracker maybe breaks in the process. And
Yeah, it kind of like crumbles in his pocket.
yeah,
but it's there.
and so like what Snaggle has left just like falls out of his fingers and into a puddle. And his snout just kind of like visibly like sinks a little bit. And like he wouldn't let really anybody except for maybe Seraphine see that.
Yeah.
And he just kind of like
and so in the in it like a crew combination of kobold and common. What are you gonna do? What you do with pocket? Don't take my stuff.
yes.
Probably like the kobold version of Spanglish.
Yeah, and he produces another cracker and he says, "Give cracker for you. Here's food."
He looks very skeptical and frightened. What? And then he kind of like slits his eyes. He looks at you and he sees that you kind of came in with a group. One of which looks very imposing.
Yeah.
What do you want from me?
Just give cracker. That's all. And he'll like break just the corner off and then hand him the rest if he'll take it.
So he he reaches into his other pocket with one hand, and the other hand he kind of like tentatively reaches out for it. Trick? Is this a trick?
No. You just look hungry.
Everyone down here is hungry.
Yes, but cracker doesn't satisfy bigger people.
So he kind of like shoves it in his mouth, and you see the vague outline of a knife in his other pocket as he's kind of like moving away, kind of watching you warily.
Mm-hmm. That's okay. And he'll just walk back, step back like he's not causing any trouble.
And then he vanishes behind a stack of broken crates. The kid with the ashen marred face squeaks as something kind of nudges him as the kobold goes by. People pretend to not really be paying attention, but all eyes are pretty much on you guys.
And then he just looks up at Seraphine.
Is Santa here?
Yeah. I don't even know why they're all staying here, unless this is the only place they have to go.
I think that is true.
Are there any, like, you said there are some blankets and stuff laying around?
Yes, things that have been abandoned, which is super odd. One, that people this desperate would leave what little belongings they have, and two, that no one else has claimed it.
I'm gonna start picking that kind of stuff up, or at least looking at it.
Yeah, definitely you get some looks, and not only that, you catch every once in a while, someone kind of make a symbol with their hand, a gesture with their hand, as if they're trying to ward off evil.
So was there anywhere that it said, like, where would the alley cats have, based on the information from the dossier, where would that have said that they would have started? That's where Lucian would be looking to go.
Because there's only one way in and one way out of the ends, you guys are literally retracing their steps now. You really have no other choice unless you find another way in or out. But for the most part, like from street level, without maybe possibly knowing a secret way, it is the only way you would come and go.
Right. So is there besides this kobold, you said there's other beings, other people that are around?
Yeah, it's a mix of races. The only commonality they really seem to share is the fact that they all just look pretty haggard and desperate. The fact that there's really only one way in and one way out of this place makes it less than ideal for people in this situation, because if they need to flee or get away, there's really no place to go.
Does there appear to be any signs of Aether use or anything that looks out of the ordinary?
Give me a how do you want to
I don't have all the skills that I would really like to have, so I'm just gonna use my eyes.
Okay. And I'm sorry, once again, what were you looking for?
Anything that stands out of the ordinary, anything that might have been signs of use of Aether, any like crazy claw marks that like are not from beastkin or kobolds or what have you. if the alley cats, kind of came up against something that, they would have had to like flee to underground, or maybe they've been taken.
So there's actually two options you have.
Okay.
You can sense the undercurrent, which is more of a, okay, I'm looking around, what do I perceive? Or you can probe the veil, where you're going to open up your senses and, see what kind of
I will
other
probe
magic
the veil.
energies you might sense.
I will probe the veil.
Okay. So you can use either intellect or awareness for that.
All right. So that is a phenomenal roll. I rolled a total of 11, and I maxed my Aether die.
Okay. So you have Aether showing?
Yes.
Okay, so you gain 1 Aether,
Yep.
and every once in a while you catch the glimpse of critters. Most common would be flying rats,
Okay.
possibly some pigeons. Flying rats are essentially rats, but they have skin folds like a flying squirrel.
Okay.
They can hide. And you catch them looking keenly in the direction of your group. They seem more interested than maybe they should be, and less wary. And then in the cracks and crevices poking out, you also see some strange flora. There's it looks like to be moss or fungus that has like a strange glow to it, but it's almost like barely visible because of the amount of ambient light that's here. So it's really
Okay.
faint. But it does seem it seems out of place and odd.
So, in this group, we've done missions before, and despite the different mindsets between Lucian and Serafina, she's the only one that seems to have any kind of sense to Lucian. So he would point out to her the creatures that are flying around. Do they have a sense of their own mind, or do you think that perhaps they could be some kind of hive gathering here?
I think we should proceed with caution and possibly find someone that we can ask or shake questions out of.
From what we know of this place, there's not many that are going to be here that are completely reliable for information, and I doubt anyone is going to be knowledgeable about what mayhaps is down here.
No, but they've obviously seen things because they're blessing themselves when we touch things. Well, I touched a couple things left, which is odd here, and they did some weird gestures. So
yes, they're warding they're warding off us as evil.
Oh, well, that's not good. They're hungry though, right? Bribery with food always helps.
Yes, helps very much.
What about that kid over there? Is he still there?
You don't see him, but you didn't see him leave from behind the crates.
I'll hold up some cookies and I'll say, hey, Hey kid, you want some cookies? And I'll give one to our little friend, so he can see that it is edible.
Oh yes, he will destroy it.
Yep.
You see one ash-smudged brown eye kind of peer between the slats of a broken crate, and closer inspection, you can see that like it looks like the crates are kind of arranged almost like a little fort or a shelter.
If you want cookies, come out. I have a question. 2 cookies, 1 question.
So this kid looks to be maybe in their tweens, could be a little older, a little bit younger. But as he kind of like peers around the crates, as he kind of comes out the backside of them, he's looking at you warily, and this is when you notice he's got actually one brown eye and one blue eye. And those eyes just are heartbreaking to look into. This is someone who's seen way too much beyond their years. What do you want me to do for the cookie?
What are those the rats? They're not like normal flying rats. Do they attack people?
Kind of. He cocks his head to one side, and well, I mean, if they get hungry enough, they will. Or if you're sick and you can't get away, they will. Or I mean, usually they just scavenge the bodies, but they're generally not too dangerous. The eating's not bad if you can get one, but they're fast.
Okay. All right. Well, I have another question. You want 4 cookies?
His eyes go wide, and at the offer of 4 cookies, you see like a combination of hunger, avarice, kind of override his sense of self-preservation. Almost.
Okay.
And then he's like, what do I got to do for 4 cookies?
What's the plant life here? How long has that been here for?
I don't know. I don't really remember it not being here, but it's kind of weird. Normally, in other places, we'd probably try and eat it, but I wouldn't eat that.
No, does it do things to people?
I don't know. It just seems wrong.
Okay.
And there's none of that plant growth anywhere near where he's kind of like claimed his little territory.
I'll hand him the 4 cookies. If you want 2 more, I have one last question.
And yeah, and you can see like, because he's kind of like peering around his like crate structure, like looking around, and you guys have been around for a little bit, and it's kind of like surprising and disheartening at the same time as you realize that he's got some kind of weapon, hidden behind the crates.
Oh, sure.
In his hand, like he expects something bad to happen.
Were there when were the last group here? Was it earlier today, and they just didn't check in?
Yes.
There was a group of however many people were in the thing, and I'll describe somebody based on the picture. One of the whoever was the most good looking. Did you see anybody who came through here like that?
I mean, the Watch don't come down here very often, but I don't know if I should talk about the strangers that come here.
Can I attempt to manipulate him into doing an answer?
You can.
Okay. Which one's which? Yellow, green, red?
Oh, so green and yellow are the two primary that you're using. Green is talent,
Okay.
and yellow is Aether.
Okay. And then roll those and add my...
Well, you're gonna roll all three, but those are the two you're gonna
All three?
you're gonna tell. To
Okay.
manipulate someone.
And then I add... I can use my will, but my will and my charm are the same, so it doesn't really matter.
Okay.
I'll just use charm. Okay, so you need green and yellow?
Yep.
Okay. Green's a 3, yellow's a 4. And then red is a 2.
Okay. Wait. So you got 7. What's your stat?
Plus 2. So that
So
would
that's
be
a
a 9.
Okay. So success with consequences. I could maybe tell you something, but what are you gonna do for me?
I'll give you more food.
How much more food?
I have a bag of cookies. That's it. That's all I got.
I can't grow big and strong on cookies. So you'll give me a whole bag of cookies?
Mm-hmm.
Do you want me to get you one of those rats?
Yeah, you can have rat if you want.
No, not from here. And he just has this disgusting look on his face.
He said they were good eating if you could get one.
Yes.
Right?
Yep, he did. And he was actually a little bit excited when he said it before, but when you say from here, or when you say one of those rats, from here is clear that not interested.
Why do you not want the ones from here?
They're weird here. Things are always weird here.
Snaggle will tug on Rook's jacket and then whisper,
Snaggle is very scary, apparently. But maybe Rook has better luck?
and hands you the last little bit of the wet cheese chunk that he had stolen earlier.
I don't know, little one. I don't think he wants your cheese. I can try. Would you like some cheese instead of cookies?
Ooh, cheese and cookies sounds really good.
Okay, I'll hand him the cookies.
Yeah, I saw them. They came through here. They didn't leave, though. Or at least I didn't see them leave. I mean, maybe when I was sleeping, or off taking care of some business. And he says it in like the most serious way. But yeah, they definitely came through here. There was 6 of them.
Do you know which alley they went to first?
Well, they came down here and they're harassing everybody and asking them questions about people disappearing. I don't know. They were kind of jerks.
Were they paying anybody for questions?
I don't know if they did or not. They didn't offer me
Okay.
anything. But
Oh, did you talk to him too?
well, no. I try not to be noticed if I can help it. Nothing
Makes
good
sense.
comes from talking to the watch. And then it kind of gives you guys some side eye.
I would imagine we don't have badges or anything that show.
Nah, probably not. I mean, you know, it's like somewhere between modern day police special unit and the watch from a medieval campaign, a fantasy. So I don't know that much about about those guys, but I've seen other things.
Well, you're getting a whole bag of homemade cookies and some of the best cheese here in Haven.
Oh, did you cook them?
Yeah, I did.
Huh. He seems intrigued by the idea that you're cooking things, and you're also part of the watch. Well, there's this guy that's been coming through here. It's a stranger wears a wide-brimmed hat, covered head to toe in dark leathers. He's been giving food and medicine to some of the folks. But I don't talk to him. I don't like him. His eyes are weird. But I've heard he's like run off some ruffians that were causing trouble. So I guess that's good, even if he's got weird eyes. But there's been others.
I mean, if he's given food and medicine, that's good, right? Like, none of those people have died or disappeared after that.
Well, I mean, I heard Simon's dog Ruff and his cat Meow won't even touch the food from the stranger.
Oh, maybe it smells funny.
Maybe, I don't know. Simon was eating it. But I didn't eat any, because if the dog and cat won't eat it, I don't think I should eat it either.
Well, you watched our friend here eat a cookie, so he's fine, so you know those are safe.
That's how I know not to eat the rats here. The other animals won't eat them. If a hungry dog won't eat it, that's something weird.
So you can just go out of this district and get a rat and it's fine, but the ones here are not.
Yeah. I mean, if you can catch them. They're hard to catch. They're fast.
Yeah. Well, they can fly.
If things are this bad here, why do you stay here rather than go elsewhere?
Because the other places are harder to stay in. There's bigger folk, stronger. They get the best spots. He kind of looks dejected. One day I'll be bigger and stronger. Especially if I can get more to eat than cookies.
Did we get a name from this kid yet?
Nope.
So what do we call you? One who wishes to be big and strong one day.
Well, when I had parents, they called me Rowlick. Everyone else around here just calls me Rob.
Do you have preference?
Raw's fine.
Well, we might be coming back through. So, if you always have information, I can always make sure I have an extra bag of cookies or maybe some cheese.
You ever get any meat?
I probably could.
We can certainly see that you can get some proper food. You do have some swag. Is there anything else that you might have seen or heard about this place?
He kind of scratches his head and looks at each of you in turn. And when you mentioned like bringing him other stuff, you see for the first time since entering this place something resembling hope kind of like wash across his face, but as quickly as it's there, as it shows, you see it is gone. Like someone who's used to having their dreams and hopes dashed before them one too many times. Yeah, I mean, he kind of looks at Snaggle and smirks. I'm little, so people don't pay attention to me that much, so I do hear things. There's been others that have been coming around. I think it has something to do with that stranger. They wear robes, like, all the time. And they have their face covered. But sometimes they help with the handing out the food and the medicine. You know, I've heard that they've taken some of the folk here, the Enders, with them. And some of them come back a little different, and some never come back. Like Gladys and Henrik, they've been a little weird since they left and came back. I don't know. Makes the hair on my neck come back up, but there's others too, like Old Bill, Little Lily, and Big Jack. I never did see them again. But you know
where they go when they leave here?
I don't know. I try to. If you're smart around here, you mind your own business.
Sure.
But I guess you guys would have watched, so it's your job to not mind your business.
Now, we like to solve problems, and the people going missing from this place are a problem.
Yeah, especially if you're one of them. But I guess, depending on how you go missing, that's the end of your problems. And he looks a little wistful when he says it, which is very depressing to see a little kid being like, maybe it'd be better if I was just dead.
Don't let them get too close to the edge.
But, he don't know it. But, there's a dwarf. I think he used to be a sailor. He's got a uniform he wears. He's seen better days. But I heard him talking. He might know something about your missing group.
Do you know where he's at? Or where we could find him?
He has a spot. He's got a tent. It's all made of canvas and wood. I don't know where he got the wood. It's hard to get wood around here. But there's some wood in it. A little deeper in. If you go around the way down there. To the left. And then you're going to make another left. That's usually the spot that he's kind of staked out for himself. I could show you.
You wouldn't mind?
Alright, give me a minute. And then he goes back into his makeshift shelter. You hear some rummaging, and he comes back with basically a hobo sack. You're guessing it's probably everything he owns. And then he's got a sharpened piece of metal in his other hand that he kind of carries with it flipped up so it's along his forearm and kind of out of sight. And he kind of keeps it between his arm and his body. Yeah, down this way.
So it's just a sharpened piece of metal. It's not even a proper weapon.
Correct.
So, Raul, would you like a proper weapon to defend yourself if need be.
A proper weapon?
So I'll move one of my, I imagine Lucian's got like, not like robes, but like flowing garments, and one of my sashes I'll move aside. Got a pair of daggers, and I'll flip one out. I'll hold it by the blade and offer it to him, handle first.
So you see several emotions like roaring on his face all at once. One is you're offering to give him something of value. And you can see immediately he's assessing the value and what it's worth and what he can get for it. So he will definitely take it, but you're not sure if he's going to keep it to defend himself or if he's going to try and sell it.
Doesn't matter.
And then he decides to push his luck. Can I have the case?
The sheath? Sure.
Yeah, that would be easier. So he takes the sheath from you, puts the blade in it, kneels down, and he starts rummaging through his sack and pulls out a piece of cord and threads it through the sheath, which he then threads the cord underneath his clothing, so it's kind of like hanging across his body, almost like a sash underneath.
Sure.
So that he can kind of access the knife, and the knife is not like visible. But he doesn't give up his sharpened stick either. His piece of metal.
I wasn't trying to take it away from him. I was just.
No, I mean he still has it in his hand because he doesn't really know what else to do with it yet. But with that, he begins. He seems to have a little more pep in his step than you've seen as he kind of leads the way. Snaggle, you own a fancy dagger that came into your possession somehow.
Okay.
Where do you keep that on you?
I think so. Like, for context, Snaggle has just the most gross, long claws, and he almost never fights with a knife. He actually fights by just scratching things and digging into things and jabbing things. Because he prefers to not have to fight in the first place. So he probably wears the knife like a pendant under his cloak.
Okay. So as you guys move away from his little hovel and deeper into the ends, you get the sensation on your chest, this vibration where the dagger is. It kind of feels like, when your cell phone's on vibrate and you get a phone call.
Uh-huh.
It kind of feels like that. And as you're kind of approaching a particular section of the ends, it gets like stronger.
Magellan is hungry.
Do I know why it does this? Do I know what triggers this?
No, it's never done it before.
Oh.
More cheese.
And he holds up his hand to Seraphine.
Magellan is rumbling. Needs cheese.
We gave all our cheese away.
Oh.
How Magellan stop rumbling?
And as you guys keep moving, the sensation starts to fade.
I'll kind of like take a couple steps back and
Get
see.
stronger.
Does it start doing it again?
Yes, it gets stronger as you go back.
Hold on.
And he will kind of like start scurrying around to see if he can kind of follow it, almost like a dowsing rod kind of thing.
Yeah, so it leads you to some of that fungus that Lucian had spotted earlier.
Oh.
Like you kind of start triangulating, and it's like it seems to be reacting to that. And it looks like little pale mushrooms. They almost look fleshy.
Okay.
And they've got like veins of this bioluminescent green. It's like a very sickly color shining through them, which makes it almost glow, but not quite.
Okay.
Magellan is vegetarian.
And he draws the knife and just stabs the nearest like mushroom.
Yeah, so as you stab it, it does cut it, but where it cuts begins to like wilt.
Oh, Magellan was hungry.
Has it stopped vibrating?
After you slice it, it does, yeah.
Okay.
Fall down.
And then sheaths it back in his little medallion sheath.
Yeah, so you do that, and you go to sheath it back in, and as you do, there's something on the blade that was not there before. In the same color as the veins, along the blade is writing.
Oh, what does the writing say?
Or patterns or designs. You've never seen it before.
Does it look like the designs of her tattoos?
No.
Does it look arcane?
It does, like, so you may have seen something similar in Etherfeist gear, but it looks older than that.
Okay. Is anyone in my party, do I know if anyone is an Etherfeister?
No one in your party is an Etherfeister, but you do know. I guess at this point, I'm sure it's no secret that Lucian's an Ethermancer, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So Snaggle will kind of like waddle on up to Lucian and then tug on his overcoat. And then he just holds up his blade by the hilt and says,
Vegetarian blade speaks magic.
Speaks magic. So I will examine the blade. Is it any actual writing? Does it make sense to me in any way, shape, or form?
So by the time you show it to him, it has begun to it has faded.
There isn't
So you just
anything.
see the tail end that's kind of is vanishing.
Whatever was there was temporary. What did you do to make it appear on your blade?
Oh, Magellan was hungry. So, Snaggle feeds Magellan.
Your dagger is named Magellan?
Yes. And you are named Lucian. And that is Rook. And that is Seraphine. And that is Rawl. Snaggle. Everyone knows everyone. Yay!
What?
I don't know what to do with you sometimes, Snaggle.
Next time read Blade faster.
You could bring it to me faster, and that would solve the problems, wouldn't it? Is there any more of these glowy mushrooms around?
Yeah, if you look around, you can definitely find more.
So, I will. Is there like some where there's like more than one together?
Yeah, I mean they're generally in clusters. He basically just
So
sliced through a cluster of them.
If I slice through one with my dagger, does it do anything?
No, it just cuts it. I mean, actually, it feels a little tougher than you would think. almost like
But if I
like weeds that are like really trying to hold on.
But if I have Snaggle, cut through with Magellan, does it repeat the performance?
It does, and give me a probe the veil.
Oh. Probe the veil. That's intellect, right?
Or awareness, yes.
Get to the all right. So that is going to be a crit with doubles.
Okay, so you gain talent. And you can actually see as he approaches with the dagger, right around the dagger briefly, especially as he gets closer to it, it almost looks like like if you like a hot day when you see the heat waves coming off the pavement.
Yeah,
almost like
yeah.
that, almost like it's like vibrating a little bit, and then you see the writing reappear, and it is clearly some kind of script or eldritch or ethermantic writings, but it is old, very old. You can kind of like feel the weight of the ages emanating off.
I'm gonna quick pull out my my parchment. I'm gonna sketch what I can before this thing fades.
Okay. Yeah, so you're able to get a pretty good sketch. You've been studying for a very long time, so I imagine memorizing things is something you're good at.
I'm pretty smart.
So you're able to kind of sketch that and save it for later.
I mean, I can't do any research out here. We got to find these alley cats and this dude with the wide brimmed hat. His cult.
And then so Raw kind of stops, and for the first time you see him kind of act like a child, as he's kind of like watching you guys interact and do things. Almost like he feels a little safer standing near your group.
So I mean, if he kind of looks over the shoulder, I mean, I've got a solid enough mind to have my hand flow with what I need to do while my brain and mouth go in another direction. So like I'll explain to him what the purpose is of jotting this down, and the fact that I'm gonna research this later. It could be connected to what is going on here. It's important to study a mystery from all aspects, not just a single source.
And then what? Why?
Well, in order to solve the problem, we have to root out all the issues. And if we wish to stop the people from disappearing here and help out in any way, shape, or form, more knowledge is always better.
He takes a big step back. You think the plants are eating people?
I don't think that, no. But they could be tied to something that's going on here.
He gives you a very skeptical look. If you say so, mister.
Do you think the plants are eating people?
I don't know. I just think they're weird.
They are weird.
It could
They're
solve the
different.
mystery of the disappearing people, and I guess if the plants ate them, they would be gone.
Well, I think your mysterious stranger with his wide-brimmed hat and his cult-like followers.
He's eating the people? And he's
I
kind
think
of
he's
like...
taking the people. I think he's taking the people somewhere.
Well,
So, Seraphine's gonna roll her eyes and be like, and this is why it takes us forever to solve anything.
Yes, I know. If it were up to you, you would rush in and it would all be solved or we'd all be dead.
Oh, I don't want to be dead. Maybe I shouldn't go with you guys. Wherever you're going. That sounds bad.
Definitely gonna die of old age here.
But anyway, Mr.
Somewhere else you would rather be? We're going to do things, we do it right.
In your view, we just need to talk to people.
I gave you all the time to offer cheese and cookies, did I not?
And then insult my cookies.
I did not insult your cookies in any way, shape, or form.
You said they weren't proper food. You don't know how I make my cookies. They could be made from meat or a plant-based protein. You would have no idea.
They are not a meal, I guarantee you.
Lucian has not had bacon cookies yet. Are very good.
Now that we have studied Scraggle's bizarre dagger and plant situation, I imagine we'll have some questions later. Raul, if you would not mind continuing to show us to your sailor companion.
He so he does like resume leading you guys, but as he does, he leans into Snaggle and says, You have so much money that you can take skywhale bacon and put it in cookies?
No! Snaggle does not cook cookies. Seraphine cooks cookies.
Seraphine has so much money, she can just put skywhale bacon right into cookies.
Oh yes, Seraphine has much monies. Seraphina has all the monies and the cards and knows the future.
He kind of like side-eyes Seraphine with skepticism, and that look of avarice comes back, and you're not sure if he would or would not stab Seraphine for that money. But it's definitely crossed his mind. 2 lefts later, and he kind of points with his sack of stuff, and then kind of like squats at the corner as he points to the makeshift tent.
When he looks with that avarice at her, can I just lean in and whisper,
I'm pretty sure if you try anything, she will curse you and turn your family into newts.
They're dead. All of them.
They will be dead newts.
Huh. He doesn't seem to know what to do with that information.
And also, something will follow you everywhere you go in the shadows, just out of the corner of your eye.
The first part I could have dealt with, I could live with. The second part, I don't know about that. We'd never get to sleep.
It's a really big newt.
Ugh. Wait, what's a newt?
It's the most horrible thing you can imagine, but then worse.
if I have to make a deception roll or anything, I totally will. I don't know, is deception a thing in this game?
Yeah, it's manipulate someone.
Ooh.
And that is a charm roll.
Oh, I'm not great at those. Alright, let's see. Oh, 6, 6, 3. So I have 2 6s again, and these are on the green and yellows.
Okay,
So 12.
That's a critical success.
Hey,
He
that's
goes-
perfect.
completely pale.
We
And
got
goes,
horrible newts.
I don't want to be followed by a horrible news at all.
Oh, this is
And he,
terrible.
again, more side eye for Seraphine. I will not try and take Seraphine's stuff.
Good.
I don't want no newts.
They're horrible.
So you also gain a talent. And they were just regular 6s, not the special ones.
So it was a 6 and a 12. Like the 12-sided dice. It was
Yep.
a 6 and a 12.
Oh, okay, yeah. So the 12 on which die?
On the green one.
So you, instead of gaining 1 talent, you gain 2.
Ooh, I'll take it.
And Ra has a newfound respect and reverence for Seraphine.
Yes.
But he's pointed out where you can find the dwarf.
We'll head in that direction, cautiously to make sure we're not gonna, startle this dude. 'Cause apparently, people here are on the edge.
Yeah. So as you kind of come around to the front of his makeshift hovel, the front of it's open, and the open side is away from the dead end, so that he can clearly it's positioned in a way that he can see what's coming and going.
Mhm.
And he's kind of like squatting down. He's very he's wearing a tattered Petracus naval uniform that has definitely seen better days. Petracus is the city where the dwarves dwell, and you see this thin-faced dwarf with soot on his knuckles, leans in close to look at the lot of you. His voice is low, as if the walls might be listening. And his I can't talk.
Petracus.
Beatrice accent is super thick. I ain't seen nothing, comrades.
I haven't even
Mind
asked
you guys
any
haven't asked
questions.
anything yet.
Yep. And that's exactly what I said. We haven't even asked you any questions yet. And you've seen nothing? Are you blind?
People that come down here, they don't look like you guys.
You are unwilling to answer any questions because you have seen nothing.
And kind of starts scratching at his collar. Bad. Seeing things is bad.
Why is
Nothing
that?
good ever comes of seeing things.
Must
Kind
have
of
lived
things you think I would see down here.
where people might have disappeared to. Where people have been coming and going.
That's true. People come and go all the time.
I'll describe the alley cats. You seen them?
Alley cats, they're right here.
Do you know where they went?
The dwarf's voice has a protraction edge to it, clipped and tired, like every word is stamped from a steel press. Asking usual questions, acting like badge and hard face can scare the truth out of people. Gives a small shrug. Kind of says you already know how this is going to go. They ain't get much. Dead ends don't give answers for free. People here talk only if paid or if they desperate enough to forget fear. Even then, they choose their words careful. And he gives you a meaningful look.
I I have no desire to do anything through fear. What is it that you need, or what is it you want that might loosen your tongue a little bit?
Well, could always use money. Ain't been able to find any good work in a long time. So scratching his collar again.
What is it you do for work? What if I found you a job?
Whatever needs doing. You know. Can be handy sometimes. Or load and offload things. You can find me a job. He scratches at his collar once again.
Do I notice anything as he does so?
Just a little bit of a rash.
Rash look at all abnormal?
How knowledgeable is your character about seedier things?
Seedier things? Probably not.
What about the rest of you?
Probably very.
You think he's going through withdrawal?
Drugs or alcohol? Or both.
Based on the rash, probably drugs.
Okay. What do we call drugs here? Spice?
I mean, there's probably a bunch of different names depending on the preferred substance. But spice works just as easily as anything else. I like it.
So, if we get you a job, are you gonna use it for party favors there?
You see something that kind of resembles shame wash across his face briefly. And he starts to answer. I don't know what you... Yeah, probably. He just has this beaten look to him.
It happens to the best of us. Well, some of us are a little too fortunate to fall into those scenarios. And she'll look over at Lucian.
Well,
Yeah, he kind
we
of
all
looks
don't-
over. Like he gets your meaning.
We all have a choice to make, and whether or not we wish to improve our situation or not.
Yeah, well, choices are a lot easier when you live a fancy life.
I will not deny that I have not had to go through the same trials and tribulations that you yourself have.
But
Our roads cannot be compared that way. But if we have a chance now to plot the next segment of your life, perhaps we can find a way to make things better for you.
so I tell you about what you want to know, and maybe you'll give me some scratch now and a job.
I have some connections. I will do what can be done to find you suitable employment. Plenty of work down at the docks if you are good at moving things back and forth.
Yeah, I can do that. My name's Jeremiah.
So, with the possibility of aiding you, what can you tell us about what the alley cats have done down here?
So, for all of his bluster, he kind of deflates. His eyes cut toward a narrow gap between two buildings where the brickwork doesn't quite line up, and the alley dies too soon. Wrong in a way you can feel in your teeth, like that buzzing before a storm in the back of your mouth, back of your throat. I saw where they went. Not up, not back to the street. Down. Service straight behind the old melt shop. Sewer access. One of them kept looking at a scrap of map like it was lying to him or something. I don't know. He makes a sound in the back of his throat, half laugh, half warning. Maybe it was. I don't know. He spits into the gutter like it might settle the taste. Clearly doesn't. Then they dropped into the dark and start following it deeper. Not like men who are searching, but men who are being led on a hunt. He doesn't look at you when he says the last part. The last thing I heard, one of them says, "Tunnels don't feel right." Says they're pulling towards the works. Like city wants them down there. And kind of like nods off in the direction. You can find the shop he was talking about. The works is one of the subsections of the city where only a limited number of city officials and workers have access to. It is basically the guts of the city that makes everything run and keeps it in the sky and the Aether flowing.
Well then, gonna have to go and take a look.
If you come back, how am I gonna find you?
I'm a man of my word. I will return. I already have some business to take care of with Rawl here.
Raw's down there. He didn't follow you guys down.
Oh, okay. If Rawl wasn't right there, then I would say that I have business to deal with another in here, and I wouldn't put any kind of like hint on it of like I've got some business. No, it's like
As a matter of fact, I got you. Yeah, so with that, you guys can easily follow the dwarf's directions past the old melt shop, past the place where the brickwork stops agreeing with itself and the alley dies too soon. He leads you actually for a little bit, and then he stops, and you kind of hear his voice in your mind. Service great, he said. Sewer access, as you kind of see it coming into view. And the way he said it, it definitely sounded more like a warning than he was giving you directions or a route to follow. But true to his word, the grate is there, half hidden behind stacked scrap and a curtain of torn canvas. The air around it is wrong, not dramatically so, subtle, like the city is holding its breath. There's the darkness below, basically.
Dave, can I ask a question about the way the cities are laid out?
Yes.
So, like, we know that there's, like, a propulsion system that keeps everything floating, right?
Yes.
That's on the very bottom?
Yes.
So
on the bottom are basically like giant turbines that slowly spin, gathering up the raw ether that powers the city and keeps it floating. The technology is been adapted and used for ether ships as well, which you've seen flying. But they've never been able to recreate what their ancestors did with the cities on that scale.
Okay, are those turbines things that people can go into for maintenance? Or
Yes.
okay,
So the city, right, has several sub layers to it, which is like you have the basically like almost like a subway or septic system, and below that is the sewers. Then below that is where all the ethermantic nodes and machinery is housed, that is fed and powers the actual ether struts that are the turbines below it. And all around those there's like catwalks and access tunnels as well, that the city uses to maintain and keep things clear. And like dangling below the city all around it are these giant, almost like metal nets, they call the skirts, that kind of like keep anything from like flying up into these turbines, into these ether struts.
okay. So then follow-up question. And this is going to sound weird, but I promise I'm going somewhere with it. How is waste treated and disposed of then?
Okay, so
Like,
almost nearly every surface in the cities is covered with some kind of greenery, and it is all edible. Because the space is such such a commodity, they have to use it as much. So they've kind of mastered urban agriculture, and the sewers actually process the waste, and the water as well as the solids are processed and recycled and reused to water and feed the agriculture.
okay, so we're not at risk of like accidentally falling out of the island or anything like that.
No, you'd have to go down several layers, and even then, below, when you finally got to the open space underneath, where the skirts and the actual ether struts themselves are, it is kind of riddled with access points and catwalks.
Okay. Cool. Sorry, I just wanted to know kind of what we were looking at for going in here.
Yeah.
I can go first if people want me to like look for traps or anything. Or like any dangers or hazards. I don't know if anybody's Tate here or wants to do that, but like I will defer to anybody that wants to.
I'll go down first.
Cool.
Sorry, I was typing something.
No worries. So yeah, it's dark, so you're probably gonna have to pull out like a lantern. But here, especially when you're in the city, the lanterns themselves are etherfice. It's not fire that gives off light. It's almost like almost more like a more modern lamp that is powered by ether. And when you pull that out, you can hop down into the darkness and see what's going on. Or even if you kind of like shine it down, you can kind of look in then before going down. There's a ladder leading down along the wall. So almost like it climbs up the wall and then onto the ceiling a little bit. There's a couple rungs. But yeah, so you're able to drop into the dark, boots finding slick stone. The smell hits immediately, damp and sour and old metal. Tunnels pull at your senses, your sense of directions, tugging you off the map the same way a bad habit tugs at a weak mind. Kind of reminds you of Jeremiah a little bit. Like the city wants you down here. In the sewers, when you drop down, the temperature falls off a cliff. Not weather cold, but presence cold. The kind that settles on your skin and makes your thoughts squeak quieter. And you see something that despite your experiences, is disturbing. And also immediately harkens back to one of the photos in one of the illustrations in the file that the sergeant had given you guys. You see him in the center of it, strung up by his wrists and ankles, staked wide, spread like somebody wanted him displayed, not discovered, not a warning to the city, a message to anyone still trying to do their job. The uniform is still watch, still alley cats, but the sewers have already started writing the rest. Sergeant Gus the Hammer Higgins. Someone used him for target practice. 13 puncture marks throughout his body. Neat, deliberate black powder work, close enough to smell the old smoke still clinging to the stone. Not a struggle, not a desperate fight. Just time, patience, and a steady hand. 12 shots passed through him. Kept on going. One didn't. There's a high hitch in the way his chest sits, like something inside him is refusing to let go. A single ball lodged in the heart. You see it reflect the metal off of your lantern light through the hole in his chest, dead center, placed like someone's signing a piece of art. And standing here in this too quiet alley, you understand something the dwarf didn't have to say aloud. This isn't only a murder scene. This is a message. Because the air is thin in the Deadlands. And Lucian, you're starting to feel something here. Something thinner than the air itself. That piece of lead isn't just weight, it's an anchor. A pin holding a door half open. That's when the sound escapes Higgins' lips, like a breath that was being held. And he lets out, ragged. He isn't dead.
Over and investigate.
I think we should try to heal him.
Is there a way to do that, Dave?
There are definitely ways to do that. And as you're kind of like investigating, I bet you guys are kind of like crowded around him, trying to like see what's going on.
I think I'm probably standing back.
All right.
Only because
Snaggle's
like
standing back.
I'm
Rook
just
is
horrified.
there. Lucian, you're kind of looking on. This is, while macabre, it's still a mystery, still a puzzle to be solved. Seraphine is like asks aloud, we should, or mention, or states aloud, we should heal him. And you can see that there's, similar to the fungus you found, traces of these veins that are like spreading out away from that hole in his chest. His head was slumped, but as he lets out that sigh, he looks up. He's kind of foaming at the mouth, like almost like a rabid dog. And his eyes are completely black. And then you begin to hear chittering coming from the walls on either side of this tunnel. as tiny, beady eyes begin reflecting the light from the lantern. Almost like a carpet or drapes wavering in the wind along the walls as a writhing mass of those flying rats. The ones that just don't look quite right. And that seems like a good place to stop.
That's creepy.
That's gross.
All right, guys. I want to
That's
thank
wild.
everyone for hanging out and watching, and thank you guys for playing, of course. You can find the links to all these fine folks down below in the description. And with that, until next time, stay nerdy.
Nerdy.